Thank you. The first frame, Mark Williams to break.
So Judd Trump, of course, won back-to-back ranking titles recently, but the one before that was won by Mark Williams. They're both on 25 for their career. And just a sign again of his longevity. But we saw in the interview, Joe, nothing ever seems to bother him, does it?
Well, what a great interview it was. I hope everybody watched it, because he's such a calm character. Very cool. And I believe everything that he says, that he doesn't let it affect him. He doesn't think about winning or losing. He just enjoys his game. And that's come across over the years. And he's rightfully called one of the all-time greats. Great touch around the table. This young man as well, Tian, you know, a good player, no doubt about that. Got to the semi-finals of a tournament just recently, Welsh Open. Very tough. Got to be on your game to beat players like Tian.
Well, the Waterfront Hall certainly holds happy memories for Mark Williams. This was the start, really, of his great resurgence. Remember, 2017, he didn't qualify for the World Championship. He didn't go and attend the special celebrations for 40 years of the Crucible. He was very much down in the dumps, but things changed that summer as he attempts that red. Yeah, Lee Walker, his good friend, got him involved with the sight-right alignment method. Mark followed that to the letter and came and won this tournament. It was his first ranking title in over 6 years, and of course went on from that to win the World Championship at the end of that season.
Yeah, as you're saying, what a resurgence. Dropped out of the top 16, can you believe? And think even out of the top 32 at one stage. And climbed his way back and fought back to #1 in the world. Speaks volumes for the man.
Yeah, he's one of those players, Williams, and all the greats are the same, really. If a match is close, you always sort of fancy him to come through. But equally, he can dominate matches from the off as well. So it'll be interesting to see the early frames here, what sort of form he's in.
Yeah, he's one of those type of players as well, Mark Williams, where he could have played safe down the table there. The red by the balk line was a possible danger, and he's one of those type of players where he doesn't mind playing down this end of the table, the black end of the table. John Higgins is very similar. You'd think they want to keep the game open with being how good they are, but he's quite happy to play down this end. It's Tian who's playing the safety off the red in the balk area, trying to keep the game flowing, but that in off and the red going towards a pocket. That's a disaster for him. That, if you're trying to play that shot, and I was a billiard player, if you're trying to play that shot, I promise you that's such a difficult shot to play. And that's what he thought of it.
Well, maybe this would be the appropriate time to congratulate Peter Gilchrist, who a few days ago won his 5th World Billiards title, in fact, in at Landywood Snooker Club, beat David Corsier in the final.
No, he is a billiard player. I used to play billiards, but nowhere near that kind of class. Look at this shot from Mark Williams. He could have rolled that in and bounced off the cushion, but preferred to screw for the black. Beautiful touch, and possibly the best touch in the game when he's in around the black. Really like to watch him play and how he manoeuvres the balls. He doesn't normally go into the pack early. He normally takes all the loose reds and then leaves it till either the last red or even the last 2 reds before he goes into the pack. But it's worked well for him. He's had over 600 century breaks, 3 maximums. Played with a touch of left-hand side there, just to help the cue ball speed up a bit as it goes around the 2 cushions. here's a typical example. Will he play for the two reds or will he go into them? He's got the perfect angle to do either shot, play either shot. This is just about choice. Sometimes when you're just starting off in a match, you want to get your arm going, get your eye in, pot a few balls. So this will tell us how he's feeling. Yeah, just wants to pot a few balls, get his arm going. And that's what I was saying earlier. He normally
24.
leaves it till the last red. Builds the lead. Got that same angle again. Now this time he may go into them. He's going further away from the reds this time. So now he's got to leave an angle to be able to disturb the reds. He's had two perfect angles to go into them. And this is what I was saying. He likes to leave it late and build a lead. And that's just about spot on. And again, a couple of ways of playing this shot. He could play the red, the loose red, and send it towards that right middle and just touch the reds open, playing that shot. Or he could go into them with pace. Again, it's just about choice, about how a player is thinking. Preferred to play it at pace, and that worked out beautifully. Would have liked more reds open, obviously, but developed another three.
Yeah, I think some players, particularly modern players, there's almost a bit of bravado. I've got to win it in one visit. I've got to make an 80 a century. Williams is old school, as you say. He's such a good safety player. If he hadn't got on a red there, he would have possibly played an effective safety, got in again, made another 40. Either way, you win the frame.
Well, as I say, David, it hasn't done him any harm, has it? You know, he's made over 600 century breaks. Won 25 tournaments. Well, not quite got the angle this time. Possible red to the baulk corner or the middle. Oh, he's developed them beautifully. What about that for a shot? He's on a red to the left middle as well. He had to play that with stun run through. You saw the bend on the cue ball there. Going into the reds. Great shot. Well, a little nod, so he may not be on this red as easy as what I first thought. No, he is, yeah.
Yeah, he wants to stay on the black, doesn't he? Because they're all reds and blacks. We saw Judd Trump in that last frame of his match going for the 147. Broke down on 96. Frame's not won yet, though, is it?
Exactly, and that's why he's playing for the blue. He was contemplating screwing back for the black, but the cue ball was slightly hitting the reds. And the frame, all important, isn't it? That unfortunate in-off from Tian. Looks like it's going to be very costly.
Yeah, Mark Williams actually at the English Open last year, he made a 147, the oldest player to do so in competition.
63.
So one more red needed after this yellow or green. A great start this for Mark Williams. Showing he's got his eye in, his touch. Played that with a touch of check. Left-hand side on the cue ball to avoid the reds and stay on the black. Another great little shot, that.
Satisfying to beat Mark Selby in a best-of-19 final, particularly the way it ended, getting a snooker in the last frame.
74.
Big first prize. And all the spin-offs that come from it. He's just in a very, very good place coming into this event. As Joe said, he's had over 600 centuries. Early in his career, at this sort of stage, he didn't always sort of bother to make them. It was almost as if, let's get on with the next frame. That's changed a lot in recent times, but he certainly could have had, well, comfortably a couple of hundred more if he'd have had this attitude then. As I say, he doesn't mind how he wins a frame, but winning it like this just sends a message to Tian Pengfei that he needs to be on his game today. Just one in off has cost him this frame. So, perfect start if he can pop this black for a century in frame one. Yeah, how about that? For the first frame. He had maximum on his mind for a while, but most importantly, win the frame, keep your opponent cold, don't give them a chance. The high break, by the way, because the qualifiers were last week, and this is a held-over match from round one. Zhou Yulong made a 1-4-4, although he didn't qualify. Stan Moody beat him. Young Stan, a great win for him, because, of course, Zhou Yulong was runner-up here last year.
113. 115.
He hardly seems to aim, does he? Just gets down, points his cue at the ball, and it goes.
118.
Yes, there was one tournament where, as a trial, they put a heart monitor on him to see the difference in a pressure situation it would make, and it turned out it made no difference. His heart rate was the same as when the match began.
122.
Well, what an interesting start that was. I hadn't heard of that one.
I think he's probably the wrong person to put it on.
But that's amazing.
127.
But you can tell, just his walk around the table, you can tell he's a cool customer.
He is, and also, maybe even more important than that, he's still a brilliant player, and he's shown it here in this first frame. Tian Pengfei went in off, he left the chance. Mark Williams has made the most of it. A 140 total clearance from the former champion. Mark Williams off to a flyer here, leading 1-0. The Home Nation Series. It's worth saying, actually, as Tian Pengfei gets this frame underway, Neil Robertson, who won earlier, if he wins this week, he'll be the first player to have won all four, which will be some achievement, because these best-of-sevens obviously tough to get through. He's only won one match so far, but he did mention it himself in his press conference, so he's aware of it.
Well, that's the result of sitting out the whole of the last frame. Cue ball not reaching the baulk line. Left an easy starter for Mark Williams. And that cue ball's going to come out of baulk just.
5. Six.
Yeah, and you can always tell when a player's got used to the table. He's the right side of the blue, but just right at the right side of the blue. Lots of left-hand side on the cue ball, but I don't think he's got enough on it. Can you see this red? Looks like he can. He's addressing it. Yep.
12.
Oh, tough black. And even tougher to hold for a red.
Yeah, the Williams dynasty looks like it might be extended because his young son Joel recently won a junior event. So he's clearly got the bug for snooker as well. He's already playing some terrific stuff in this match.
20.
And now he's got no choice but to go into them. And you're right, David. Yeah, he hasn't missed a ball as far as I can see in live play. Nice angle, this. Oh, and he split them well. He split them well, the break off.
28.
And this time he is a little short on the blue. But with enough angle on it to be able to come in and out of balk back down for the reds. Preferably down the left-hand side of the table, being a left-hander. There's the side on the cue ball. Beautiful little shot, that. Lots of left-hand side on the cue ball. It makes it such a difficult pot, that, playing it that way, but just played it as though it was easy.
Meanwhile, Karen Wilson is out. He's been beaten 4-3 by Sam Craigie. They actually played here 6 years ago. Craigie beat him 4-1. So once again, he's come unstuck. But again, you know, that counts as an upset. But we know how good Craigie is. It's not a huge one, but disappointment for Wilson. He's looking to land a title this season. It won't be this one.
Well, he played to come past the red, take it to the left corner, but it wasn't a bad kiss. Still on this red to the right corner, but not as easy as it would have been. Yep, no problem.
The other match that's on at the moment is Ricky Walden is 2-1 up on Ben Wollaston on table 3. Now that black, is it going to drop? Just. Yeah, I was going to say, Ben Wollaston, of course, his wife, Tatiana, is refereeing this match. But she is ever professional, just focusing on this rather than what's happening with Ben next door.
50.
That black hasn't gone in, and he's annoyed.
He is annoyed because it was looking like 2 visits, 2 frames down for Tian. Now, can he get this cue ball out for the black? They could do with leaving an angle on this black to be able to disturb the reds. Yep, he can do it. Doesn't want to bounce too much. And that's a little bit more would have been ideal, but I think he can still play the shot from there. This is the black that Mark's just missed. Near angle. How many times on the near angle players missed that shot? Well, now Is he on one? That red bouncing off the cushion may have stopped that red going to the right middle. He's hit them well, and he was on that red to the right middle till that one bounced off and blocked the pocket. This is much more difficult. He's very well aware of how well Mark Williams is playing. He doesn't want to leave him an easy chance. Yep, that's good.
9.
And that's also good. Could have been worse.
It's not just that he knows how well Mark Williams is playing in this match. Previous meetings, it's 5-0 to Williams. So a couple of whitewashes in there as well. It's all been sort of one-way traffic when they played. But this is a chance to get back into this frame. Like I say, he beat O'Sullivan 5-0 at the Welsh last season. Now, Ronnie O'Sullivan did have tip trouble, it has to be said. But even so, you've got to take the chances when they come along. He did so. Didn't tense up as he went in front.
Thank you. 15.
And the thing about that tournament, he'd already beaten Jimmy White, Ali Carter and John Higgins. So, you know, he was playing some seriously good stuff that week. But that never looked in.
Tian 15.
Yes, and very fortunate. Look where the cue ball has landed. Missed that by a long way. And could so easily have left an easy red, but I think he's got away with it. May even have the snooker. No, not quite. Oh, wait for this. Oof. Not far away. So, another chance for Tian. It's going to be close to the cushion, the cue ball, which is going to make the next colour very difficult. Blue looks to be the ideal ball, just to bounce it off the cushion. Choice of 2 reds. Tough though.
Six. Seven.
So those 2 reds by the pink need some attention. Can't do it this time round. Although one of them does go to the bottom corner. Well, I've got to try and leave an angle here on the blue.
14.
Just to play a little cannon to those 2 reds.
$15.
And that looks just about right. Does the red go to the middle? Well, he's got the red to the left corner, if not.
20.
It always looked a little high.
20.
Now, Mark Williams was talking in his interval that he likes to punish players when they've missed a ball. Well, Mark missed a ball off a black off the black spot, and he could have been punished there. Just 15 points in the game. And this looks a pretty good safety. Red going towards the pocket. Is it going to reach? Just.
Yeah, Mark Williams knew that was in. He sat down again. It shows how quick the table is that reached the pocket.
Well, I didn't think it was hard enough, to be fair. But, as you say, so quick, these tables. The black is on, but there's no way to get to the red without playing a deep screw to the pink. And you might play that in practice, but this isn't practice. Somewhere on the left side cushion would be good. That's what he's looking at, the snooker. But doesn't want to push the green safe. Well, shows against playing the snooker, and I thought for the world he'd play it anywhere on the left side cushion and he would have been snookered.
Champion Fei, 8.
Oh, what a brilliant pot. Terrific pot from Mark Williams there. Oh, what kind of an angle does he have on the green to hold for the yellow? What a tremendous pot. He's always been such a great long ball potter. Wasn't the best angle on the green. May need the rest.
4.
Can he play it with that little style that he has, going underhand? Can just get to it. Brown needed. Just checking.
Yeah, he missed the black, didn't he, on 50 off the spot. Tian Pengfei had some chances to get back into the frame. He's never quite in control, you felt, though. Got the fluke. It didn't, in the end, make any difference. So it looks like 2-0 to the Welshman. The difference, though, with frame one is that Tian Pengfei did have a chance to win this one. And time's running out. This is only best of 7. So frame 3 is a big one for him.
24.
Otherwise, it could be a 6th straight defeat to Mark Williams. Mark Williams then on top here in Belfast this afternoon, already halfway to victory, leading 2-0.
Thank you, frame 3. Mark Williams to break. One. Four. 5. 10. 11. 12. 18. 19. 26. 26.
26.
Mark Williams, 1. One. Nine. Sixteen. Seventeen. Tian, 17. One. Williams, 8. One. Three. Four. Ten. 11. Eighteen. 19. 26.
1.
27. Thirty-two. 39. 41. 44. 48. 53. 59. 59 and
Shaun, it's ever good to see you. I'm not going to ask you how you're playing. How are the cues playing?
Well, I've only had them for a couple of weeks, but they're playing really, really well. They're both doing something completely different. They're both giving me a different amount of deflection. And so it's an ability to try and adapt to match conditions out there in play. At some stage, I might have to accept that it's me, but until then, I'm going to try everything.
So how many are you going to take out there with you this evening, 2 or 3?
Well, I've got 3. I've chosen my best 2. As I say, I'll get more deflection with my original cue now. That's gone from 8.8 to 9.2. And then I've got a 9.5 weighting as well. So if I find myself missing shots thin, if I'm not getting that throw that I want, I can get the 9.5 out, and maybe that'll fix it.
I guess not being in China last week has been good for your prep coming in, because I know how much this Northern Ireland Open means to you.
Yeah, the Home Nations series, are very important to me personally. I really enjoy touring around the UK, playing in these great cities. It's been a tough few weeks since Brentwood. I've lost a couple of big family members. We buried my best friend on Tuesday, which was a tough day. But yeah, I've done a few shows as well, trying to get used to new equipment. It's not easy on the road. And tonight will be their first outing.
And a first outing against Ryan Thomerson, that's a new one. It's always nice to come up against a new opponent, isn't it?
It doesn't happen often, does it? We all get so friendly on tour and we all know each other so well. It's very, very rare these days that you come up against somebody new for the first time. But sure, it's both new for us both, and we'll both be trying to put on a great show.
I'm sure you will. We look forward to the cues. Thank you, Shaun.
Thank you.
frame 4.17. 24. One. 32. 39. 40. 47. 48. 55. 56. 63. 64. 70. 71. 78. 83. 84. 921. Tian 921. And a frame.
Ricky, thanks for your time. I know how much the players rate Ben Willison. That's a really good win, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a tough first-round game, to be honest. Ben competes at every tournament that he plays in. So, yeah, tough first-round game and pretty pleased to get through.
How's your form in general? Because it's not been, your best season so far, but it's ticking along quite nicely.
Yeah, exactly that, to be honest. Ticking over, playing pretty good in spells and trying to find my way into a deep part of the tournament. So, yeah, I'll keep going and hopefully it'll turn this week.
Well, talking about a deep run in a tournament, you're on the sort of edge of that Grand Prix race. I know you guys have a look at these things because they're important going forward, isn't it? But you're just on that and you're in China in a couple of weeks, so there's lots of good stuff to build on. Yeah, absolutely. You've just got to put yourself in position, I think, and if you're practicing hard, playing well, I know how things can spin quickly. So, yeah, I'm on the bubble of that at the moment, but a good run somewhere along the way will put me in another event. And you've got Double D next, Dominic Dale. That's always an adventure, isn't it, against Dom? Yeah, another tough game. Obviously, Dom's different class. You know, he's been around the block a few times, plays the game really well, and yeah, it's going to be a tough game for me. Just like you do, big man. Play well. Thanks, Al. Cheers, mate.
Thank you, frame 5. Mark Williams to break. 16. 17. 22. 23. 30. 31. 38. 39. 46. 47. 54. 55. 62. 70. 70. 1. 10 Fei, 1. Frame conceded, frame and match, Mark Williams.